Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel Pathways Overseas. Myself Sumit Sharma and I belong to Panipat, Haryana. Thank you for watching our previous video on retail lecture. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe our channel and press for bell icon for getting notification of next video. Today we will discuss about whole speaking section and how to get 90 out of 90 in your speaking section without doing so much effort. Let's start our topic. As I mentioned in previous videos of Read Aloud, that Read Aloud is the first and basic concept of our speaking section. It is an important task of our speaking section. There will be 6 to 7 read aloud in our exam and they will contribute 44 marks to us. It will contribute 22 marks in our speaking section and 22 marks approximately in our reading section. Today I will give you some clues that will help in doing your read aloud part. Let's start the video. There is a paragraph in front of us. I have also mentioned about this text in our previous video on read aloud. Some students do common mistake in doing these sections, yet it is a easy task. It will give 44 marks as I have mentioned earlier in this about in our previous video. Some student speaks it too fast, as like in classes your teacher will talk about topics that you are studying and so on. Some students doing this section so slowly that they have no marks in their exam, as like in classes your teachers will talk about topics, and some students do common mistake in studying the subject, studying the wordings, so they get the lowest marks. The fluent they don't have fluent manner. They have to speak in a fluent and confident manner, as like they can speak in classes. Your teachers will talk about topics that you are studying. The information that they provide will be important to know when you take tests. You must be able to take good written notes from what your teachers say. You should do your concept of read aloud in confident and fluent manner because it will contribute our mark to both sections in reading and speaking section. You don't have hesitation in doing this section because it will give approximately 50 marks, accurately 44 marks, but approximately about 50 marks. It will contribute 20 to 25 marks in our speaking section and 20 to 25 marks in our reading section. Our next concept is repeat sentence. First of all, we will hear a sentence from our screen or our computer. Then we have to speak in the mic after 2 or 3 seconds. In this type of content, what do we have to do? What we can to do to get our complete section marks? Let's first listen an audio.
It's important to maintain a healthy work-life balance.
After listening the audio, we have only 2 to 3 seconds to do it or to speak in the mic. If we don't completely listen it or don't understand what the speaker had said to us, then what we have to do? We have to speak anything, any words that is related to it. As like in this video section, the speaker had said it's important to maintain a healthy work-life balance. If we have not listened these words properly, if we have listened only maintain and healthy work, then what we have to do, what can we do to get our marks completely? We will not get our marks in content form, but we will get our marks in fluency and pronunciation form. We can say that it is important to cover to complete our work. If we don't completely judge the full sentence, we can do it by saying any word that are related to it or that are nearly related to it. We have to speak the content that we have prepared in 2 to 3 seconds. Will we give our marks to fluency and pronunciation factor? At least we will not cut all of our marks. Repeat sentences are the backbone of our speaking section because they provide at least 50 to 55 marks in our speaking section. They provide 55 marks totally and they provide 32 marks in our speaking section and 19 to 20 marks in our listening section. Next part of our speaking section is describe image. It is a moderately scoring part of speaking. There is an image in front of us which is described on our screen. How we can say this, how we can get accurate marks in this section. We have to speak in a fluent manner because fluency gives marks to speaking. As like I will describe it now. There is an interesting image in front of me. Let me have a closer look by looking more closely. The given image gives us information about social activities by gender. It is broadly divided into two categories, men and women. First of all, I can see drama and painting. Then I can see sculpture and language. Then I can see number of people. Then I can see 0, 10, 20, and so on numbers in front of me. In case of women, the highest data is covered by language and the lowest data is covered by sculpture. There are many colors such as white, black, blue. To conclude, the image is very informative and interesting. So guys, this is the end of our describe image section. Now I will play an audio based on written lecture, and we have to put up some keywords, some phrases or some sentence from it. And then we will get our accuracy, how we can put up the words, how we can use up the line segments, how will you use up your phrases. We'll get about your accuracy. Now I will starting an audio clip.
To today's lesson. We're continuing with our study of taxonomy. Taxonomy is how scientists classify organisms into different groups based on the characteristics that they share. So, for instance, a good way to think about taxonomy is the U.S. Postal Service. If we want to send a letter to someone, we first start off by addressing it to the nation they are in. By default, we usually assume that's America, but it doesn't have to be a treat England or Costa Rica or Spain. You put their nation or their kingdom. Then within that kingdom, you address it to a slightly more specific level, their states. So, for instance, South Carolina would be the same as a phylum. And within that state, you would address it to their city and then to their street number, the street they live on. Then you would address it to, say, their apartment complex, and within that complex, you'd address it by their last name to their family, and then finally their first name to the specific person you want to get it to. And in that way, we're able to weed out all the 400 million people we don't want to send our letter to in America and pinpoint the exact person we want the letter to reach. And in the same way, scientists use a taxonomy chart to pinpoint a living creature and organism and how it relates to everything else in the world.
So guys, as we have put up some keywords from this lecture, we have to write them in a following way. We use a template to do this section. How we can get accuracy of this data. We can speak this in a fluent manner because we have to do nothing. We have to speak that we have written from this audio. We have to do this section in fluent manner to do our section complete. As like I also have put up some keywords from the audio. These keywords are taxonomy, scientists, organism, different groups, and so on numbers. I am using a template to in doing this section, so listen carefully. Taxonomy was the basic point of this lecture. Firstly, the speaker told us about scientists, then he told about organism and different groups. Moreover, the speaker told us about living creature and creature identify. Furthermore, he told us about how to compare and exact person. Then he told us about postal letter and address a person. Moreover, he told us about nation, state, and street. Lastly, the speaker told about street, kingdom, and relate to the world. To conclude, the lecture was very informative and interesting. Our last concept in this section is answer short question. These questions are not so important. They will come only 5 to 6 in our exam and they will not give enough mark to us. So these are not so important, but these are still easy and we can do them easily. In this case, we will get a question related to anything as like what is the capital of India, what is the capital of England, as like so much questions are there. They will get last concept in speaking section is answer short question. This concept is not so important. It will give only 5 to 6 marks in our exam and they will come 5 to 6 in numbering in our exam. These are simple questions and we can give the answers of these questions in only one word. This question will be related as like what is the capital of India, which is more faithful animal, as like something nearly equal to. Normally we will get two options in this question as like the question is which is more faithful animal, a dog or a cat. If we don't know the answer of the question, we can easily use both the option in our answer. As like the question is which is more faithful animal, a dog or a cat. I can say that a dog, then I will use some gap and then I will announce a cat. In this type, the right answer will be selected and we will get marks of this question. And if we don't get options for any question, we can use some keywords from the question. As like which is more faithful animal, they will not giving an options to us. We can use faithful animal. We don't get marks for it. At least we will get 1 2 marks for our fluency. Guys, hope you likes the video. If you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.